Gary, your voice sounds like leadership.
Thank you.
And your shoulders seem to go on for days.
I know.
I hope we're rolling because this is important. And I want to start with that. And thank you for that. I don't even know how to put I don't even know what that color is, but it makes me feel like the world is so fucking possible and extra.
This was a Christmas gift to my son that he didn't like. He didn't like the color, so we're the same size. So I go,
How old's your son?
20.
Okay, big kid.
Yeah, he's 6'4".
I noticed one thing about you because I'm a little bit gay. You've got some arms on you, and you were a Marine.
No, I was in the Navy.
All right, well, you're in the Navy.
Yeah. Well, let me start.
That's not as much. Sorry, Gary.
Let me start by saying Bryan Callen is my guest this week.
Yes.
And he just came right in hot.
Hot. And on time.
Yeah, I said, hey, can you be here at 10? And literally I looked at my phone, it said 10, and Bryan just walked in.
Strolled in whistling.
Ready to go.
Yeah.
He said, I got to take a piss.
And
then you're going.
I got to piss.
Well, what were we talking about right before we started? So hold on, let's talk about this on the air.
Ohio.
Oh, yeah. Did you do Columbus or
I did Ohio
Cincinnati?
and I did Cincinnati. I did both.
And they were talking about me?
Yeah.
Good?
Well, yeah. Well, you know, what's funny is that, first of all, Ohio doesn't get its due as a state. It doesn't get its due in terms of the cities you don't think about and the history of Ohio, which I'm not going to go into because everybody will fall asleep. But it's just like Cincinnati, Ohio, Columbus, Ohio. What else?
Cleveland.
Toledo. These are cities you hear a lot about.
That was rude. Sorry about that.
You know what I'm saying?
My fault.
Yeah, it's all right. Hey, that's all right.
We kind of, it's our own bubble, but if you ask stand-ups, I don't know many stand-ups that don't like doing Cleveland, Cincinnati, or Columbus. It's
great.
Because people come out and they're ready to laugh.
And they're happy that you're there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I swear to God. Like Cincinnati and Cleveland are those places where people go, hey, thanks for coming all the way out to Cleveland. Like
I know. It's always weird when they say that, like, hey, man, thanks for coming.
Yeah. And when you ask people where they're from, when they're from Cleveland, they go like this. They go, Cleveland. Like oh, sorry. It's so funny.
It wasn't my fault. My dad fucked my mommy.
Cleveland. Yeah. You know what I mean? Cleveland. But Pittsburgh's more like Pittsburgh. Like, say something, I'll punch you in the face. I'm working class.
Well, you bounce off your sports teams. When you got pride in your pro teams.
Yeah.
You know, Cleveland, they're doing better now with the Browns, but for a long time, even with their basketball team, they just couldn't get it right. The Indians, I was like this.
The Indians, like, huh?
It's not even the Indians anymore. They're going to change the name.
Of course they are. That's the world we're living in.
I think Columbus has, Ohio State's the one thing that brings the entire state together. Like Cleveland doesn't like Cincinnati and vice versa. But on Saturdays when Ohio State plays, the whole state comes together.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, Columbus is super woke too in parts of it. You know what I mean?
So you watched you did watch the Jeffrey Epstein story.
I watched a little of that, and I got to say, what's the big deal? I was watching it, and I was watching, and I was listening to the girl, and then you get into it, and you go, oh, this guy. Yeah. But I think I don't know.
But he was the big house in Columbus.
I don't remember that. I didn't watch the whole thing.
Oh, I did. I remember watching it going, dude, even R. Kelly's going, you're doing too much, bro. Yeah. I remember watching going levels.
Levels, bro. Although the places like Columbus, Kansas City, when you go there and you go, why don't I move here? Because there's a lot to like about them. However, super gray, rainy.
Yeah.
Just, you know.
I lived in Cincy for 14 years.
You did.
Why? I was a comedian. Not like I grew up there, but then I came to California, chased the dream.
Yeah.
And then we moved back because I was familiar. I knew the schools. So my kids were growing up there. So
right.
I don't have any regrets. I liked it there.
Yeah.
But I'm a comedian. We could live anywhere because we travel so much.
Anywhere. Remember when George Clooney in that movie Up in the Air and he reaches 1 million miles on American Airlines or something.
Oh yeah.
And so he travels, that's all he does in his whole life is nothing. And the Sam Elliott plays the pilot, and he looks at him and he goes, where are you from? And Clooney goes, up here. And I was like, and when you ask a comic sometimes, after a while, it's like, I'm from the road, man, in a lot of ways. When I'm not on the road, my kids keep me grounded, but I miss the road.
Well, my kids thought I was a pilot because they used to drop me off at the airport when they were babies, and they see the plane and go, that's what my dad does. I go, I'm just going to let you ride with that.
Wow.
Dad's going to work at the airport.
Yeah.
Here's a funny George Clooney story. I just went to my aunt's house over the holidays, and she got married in 1980 or 81. And I'm looking through her wedding album in Cincinnati. There's an 18-year-old George Clooney at her wedding.
No.
And I go, is that George Clooney? She goes, yeah, he was dating one of my girlfriends at the time. Nobody knew who he was. He was 18. I go, holy shit.
That's fucking crazy.
And then here I am. You just see half of my face in the picture. I go, so I've been close. I told her, I said, who knew?
Who knew?
You had two of us at your wedding.
Two celebrities, one kind of celebrity, but the other one's celebrity.
Let me tell you, he was attractive then.
Of course he
Even
was.
80, 81, he had the part down the middle, hair feather back.
Yeah, and a cool
he had
guy.
a little build on him.
Yeah, I know girls who've dated him. He's an amazing guy. Oh, by the way.
Oh, how about
plays basketball. He's a dude. Oh, super talented, smart as shit.
Well, how about Gabe's 14 of his best friends, $1 million?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Huh? Hey, you got that debt?
Yeah.
There you go. I wish I had money like that. I would do that. I do it anyway. Like I have certain people on my payroll. Like I went through this divorce, and it was all amicable. But when you break that up, you see where the money is spent. And my ex was like, "What is this? What are these charities?" You know, like. But I feel better about the world if I can help a 90-year-old man pay his cable bill. Yeah. You know, little things like that. But that's all I
You
had.
had a 90-year-old guy on your payroll?
91.
Who is that? And what does he do?
I don't want to out him, but he's an amazing guy.
Oh.
He's a national treasure to me. He's a man who at 91 still has passion for what he does. And I think that's important. Even though he's not necessarily working or successful, he's still writing his screenplay. He's still trying to be in acting class even through COVID.
No
Like, that's a
shit.
big deal to me. And that's a beautiful human being.
That's, I'm assuming it's a neighbor.
No, it's somebody I had been in acting class with for a long time. And I realized that they were not able to go to a movie because they were living off their pension, and it was nothing. And you know, it's when you see somebody who's, let's say, 89 at the time or whatever he was, and he was terrified about finding a place to live. He couldn't find a place to live at 89. And we think, well, I'm old and it doesn't matter. It does matter. It matters a lot because he's incredibly lucid. That kind of stuff to me is unacceptable.
I don't thought of it like that.
I don't know what. Yeah. Well, none of us want to think about it. I don't want to think about it.
Well, you hope there's people around like yourself that actually, when you are that age, because sometimes I'll be on the road and I'll see like just an old person in a bucket, like a beat up bucket, and I'm going, man, they can't start over.
They can't start over and they're lonely. That's the other thing that people never think about is like that when you get really old, you lose your relevance and all your friends die.
Yeah.
And you're lonely. You're just lonely.
Like that whenever you see like a teenager die, and obviously before COVID, but the funerals be packed to the gills. And then you realize the older people get when they die, the smaller the funeral is. You ever go like when my grandmother died?
Yeah.
I assumed the church is going to be packed. And then we got there, it was like 40 people.
That's right.
It was just everybody I see at the little family functions was the only people she had left in the world because she outlived everybody. She was like pushing 90.
If you get into that stuff, it changes your political philosophy. Like I'm a capitalist. I believe in the marketplace. I believe in freedom of expression and all the things that kind of America's about. I'm probably in some ways, I'm a libertarian in terms of I like the idea of a smaller government. However, there are issues and that's because I've never really needed help. And when you see, like, there's this Netflix documentary called Unnatural Selection, and there are these very rare diseases where people are suffering all the time. And they do have therapies for it, but they cost $1 million. They cost $1 million. And if they don't get help or somebody doesn't help them or the government doesn't do something about it, they die or they suffer really badly. I don't want to live in a world like that. I don't like seeing it. I wanted to turn it off. You know,
what's this called?
It's called Unnatural Selection. We are on the verge of creating synthetic biology and therapies that are going to push us way beyond our biological limits. And that's a fact. And things like you see people in wheelchairs because they have spinal bifida and stuff, those things are going to be a thing of the past. They're coming up with these incredible drugs. And you know, cancer as you and I know it in 20 years is going to be, you're not going to see, we made huge strides in childhood cancers and things like that, but they're expensive as fuck. And so as you get into it, if you get into it and you see these advocates, and what's funny is that you see these advocates and they might be liberals or they might be left-wing people, but they're also people who don't have any money and they have an organization that's trying to make drugs affordable for those kind of people. Say what you will, but they're kind of angels.
Yeah.
So it gets so complicated. Yeah. Anyway, I've just been going through this transformation in my mind, especially since the world's on fire.
Jeez.
And yeah.
You got deep quick. I thought we were just going to talk about the funny bone.
I get
we work together on Ride
deep,
Along.
bro.
So I want to start with the backstory of how I got in Bryan Callen's lexicon again about a year and a half ago.
Yes.
Was my wife got racially profiled on Delta.
Yes.
Right? She was in line, first class, and the guy at the Cincinnati airport called her out. Like, man, this is first. And she goes, yeah, I am in first. He goes, can I see your ticket? Shows her the guy the ticket. Doesn't cause a fuss. And my wife, she's not one to make a scene and not one to say it's because of race ever. But she just stood there and went, it's all white dudes in line. And why did he only ask me? And I'm like the fourth one in line. I wasn't first. So she goes, are you going to ask anybody else? And he was like, no. She goes, why not? He goes, because I don't have to. And then when he...
That's so crazy.
And then
was this 1971? Was it 1961?
This is in March. It'll be 2 years.
You know what I mean?
And then when she gave him the ticket to actually board the plane, he goes, oh, yeah, I wasn't profiling you either. Like, he said it. She goes, I didn't say anything. So, man, I just went and did a social media post.
Yeah, I remember.
And that's when you guys got wind of it and asked me. I remember you and Brendan was like, what's really going to come of it? Well, we did get a small gift from Delta, very small. And but I remember you said, yeah, I've heard that guy's difficult to work with.
Right. And I immediately felt terrible because, yeah, but go on.
I said, I remember watching it going, well, in my brain, I was like, he got that from one person or one manager because of if there's 52 weeks in a year and I probably do 35 weekends of comedy clubs.
You were the worst person to say that about because it was so not true. You were the worst. Like, I said that because one person said it, but I don't even know if they were talking about you. When it came all back, I remember how I think I apologized 50 times on the podcast.
I wasn't upset ever.
But I was.
I know, but I wasn't mad. I was laughing about it.
Because everybody likes you, and you're the exact opposite of that. I'm the same way. Yeah. So all of a sudden I just used my platform to say something about a guy, and then I found out you were like a veteran. Then I found out you were just a good guy. Everybody likes you. And I was like, I broke my own rule. To ever say something like that with zero evidence, because somebody said a story, and by the way, you might have been having a day where you were like, no, I don't even remember the story. It was something about you not wanting to go out because they were... I can't remember, but I don't think
go on stage.
My guess is they may have gotten you confused, or I got the name confused. I can't remember, but to say that without any evidence on The Fighter and the Kid, because you forget that it's got a reach. You just do. You're just talking.
It was probably Gabriel Iglesias. I've heard he's difficult to work with.
Let's spread rumors. Let's spread some serious rumors.
Get everybody upset.
It was Kevin Hart. And,
definitely fluffy. You know what? I take it back. It was probably Tiffany Haddish. That's probably who you heard that about.
I love Tiffany. Yeah.
That's what it actually, it's weird how everything comes full circle because I go on your podcast and, we had a good time and it was like a couple months later I came on and then that's how I got introduced to this studio.
Right.
The first time I was here. Talked to the guys behind the scenes, and it really, look how it came full circle. Now I have a podcast at the same place, and the reason I really came on is because you said I'm difficult to work with.
And I kept saying, Gary, I'm sorry. Come on the podcast. I think I texted you or I tweeted at you or something.
I DM'd you, and we exchanged info.
Right.
And then
I was like, I'm sorry, dude. Yeah.
So thanks, Delta. Yeah. Thank you, racist ticket agent at Delta.
Oh, Jesus.
Got a podcast of it.
What do you think of... what's funny is that I travel this country a lot, and I'm because I'm a white dude or whatever, I always contend that I don't have any friends that are quote unquote racist, and I don't see it. I don't see it. But then I'll talk to my buddy Kenny, who I grew up with, who's black, and I said, what would you say if I said, I don't think America's that racist? And he said, I'd say you're more intelligent than that. And he's not a guy who ever, never, ever, I've never once heard him, he's a businessman, once say, oh, that was racist. He's not like that. He's too independent and too macho to do something like that. It's the other thing I notice whenever I talk to black men about race, because they're dudes, they're like...
Well, our job as white men and white people in general isn't to try to figure out. Our job is to listen.
Yeah.
That's all we can do. Because I'll never know what it's like. And even having mixed kids, my interaction, I just gotta listen. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can give my sons all kinds of advice of how to talk to the police, how to talk to strangers. People do a double take, everything. I said, but the main thing I just gotta do is, especially with my daughter. My daughter's gonna be the activist in the family.
Oh, she is?
Oh, she's at a HBCU right now, and she is in full swing.
Yeah.
Right? She's gonna be I went to a Black Lives Matter march, and she was starting the chants. And where the fuck did she get a megaphone? It's like, when she whipped out the megaphone and was just starting, I was like, whoa! Not trying to cite a riot. She just yelling shit out, getting the crowd fired up. And I go, who is this person? Yeah. So my job is to step back and just support things that are important to her.
Right.
Listen. So when you're talking to your friend that's black, my thing is I just listen. And I think even in my act, everybody knows I do a lot of racial jokes. But I think I've done a good job of not doing stereotypical racial jokes. And also, I can push the envelope without going too far. Yeah. And I don't say like black or white people, it's better or worse. It's just we do things different. Yeah. And it doesn't mean one's white, one's right, one's wrong, or one's better or worse. We do shit different culturally. Right. And that's what I've done a lot of. I try to do in my act is bring light to it instead of just taking it so serious.
It feels like we've made a lot of progress. And even Obama said that at Howard. Like there's been a lot of progress made. And to say that there isn't is not really a service to people that have worked really hard to make a change, which I haven't, but you know. But certainly my kids are growing up without any prejudice. That's just a fact. It just is. I mean, if you ever said anything, I have a 9-year-old and a 12-year-old. And I think that debate overall has been won. I know that people would say, well, it's 70 million Americans, but the debate, I feel like the argument, I don't think anybody who's serious, who has a brain, would say something that would fall into the category of old school racism. You're of color, so therefore your potential is not as great as X. That's such an outdated argument. You know, it's such a, and whether people feel that in their heart or not is a different story. But I think the conversation and the problem has become more nuanced. But
it's a class thing too.
It's a class thing.
I mean, it's money. Because I remember I was talking, my dad was a FedEx driver for 30 years, and he had to deliver mail to a damn near Section 8 housing in Cincinnati. And he was telling me how he tried to get in, get out of the buildings. Sure. When he had to deliver. And he said to me, he goes, thank God I was delivering first thing in the morning. He goes, because nobody was up. Yeah. He goes, and even if I had to knock, he goes, even the knock, he said, it was like, who's there? Yeah. It wasn't like, hey, how's it going? It was like, why are you knocking on my door? Yeah. The tension was high. And I told him, I had to tell my dad, I go, now imagine me, I'm raised in that. And you don't have an outlet, and you're a little kid.
The stress.
And even fear. School isn't a release, because your school might be worse sometimes.
That's right.
I go, can you imagine me, I'm raised in that? So before we jump on somebody for being this way, let's take a step back and why are they that way? Yeah. Because sometimes I was talking to somebody and they said, think about one person you dislike in this world, like that's done you wrong, and then just go back and picture them as like a 3 or 4-year-old kid. And something's going on in a kid's life, you just want to hug them and be like, dude, it's it'll get better. But if you don't have anybody to do that, it's just the older you get, the worse it
perpetuates. Yeah, it's a complicated issue.
You can talk about it all day, but nobody has there's no magic pill, and nobody has the out and out answer.
My favorite is to watch. I like watching debates between black conservatives and black liberals. I do it all the time on YouTube. It's fascinating. Yeah. It's the American experiment. It's part of the American I don't know that America's ever been different in that sense. We've always had these tensions. We've always had these debates. It's always been this constant, battle place of ideas. And it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in the next 4 years. Now that everything is blue across the board in the power structure.
Yeah.
I want to see what happens. I'm very curious to see whether things get better, whether things stay the same, whether things. I'm really worried that because it's easier to get the information you want to hear that confirms your feelings to begin with.
Right.
That we are going to be ever more split to the point where we're headed toward irreconcilable sort of divisions. I'm terrified of that. I don't think it's ever been any
social
different.
media.
Yes.
It's a lot different now because you can find like-minded folks, whether you're right or wrong, on the other part of the country. You're like, all right, so I'm not the only one thinking this way.
No.
I see it a lot on Facebook with older people that kind of stuck in their ways, so to speak. And you'd be looking and you'd be like, God, they have the same 15 people liking their posts. It's the same 15.
I know.
And if you ever come in and challenge their way of thinking, they go on the attack instead of stepping back and listening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, fear does weird things too, because if we start breaking people into groups, that's why I hate. That's my fear of identity politics in general, because you'll force people to because they get scared. And then they start to think, they get into that siege mentality, and then they'll tribe up. And I don't think we want that shit. None of us do. None of us. I was just at the Visani Theater, which, have you ever done that place? It's really
where's
good.
that at?
It's in Port Charlotte, Florida. I never heard of it.
I haven't either. I haven't even heard of Port Charlotte.
It's a theater, but they have this sick Italian food at it. But it's an amazing theater. It's like this.
What's it near?
It's
What's
like
the
a
nearest
castle.
big city?
Fort Myers. Dude, you got to do it.
So is it near Marco Island?
No, it's maybe, but it's on the
Naples?
West Coast. Yeah, it's like an hour from Naples.
Huh.
And like an hour and a half from Tampa. It's south of Tampa, but it's between Fort Myers and Sarasota, I think. But it's a great theater. And what was I saying? What were we talking about?
We were talking about politics. He was in Port Charlotte, tribing up.
Yeah.
People were scared.
I don't remember now.
But where the theater had great food. Maybe you were breaking off into a food discussion.
Well, there are alligators everywhere, and that's the point I'm making. And it's really scary because there are swamps, and I would never stop and take a pee on the side of the road because the forests have goblins in them. Florida's wild, man.
They never really shut down.
No, they don't give a shit. That place is like, that's political. I got up on stage and I went, you guys don't give a shit about COVID, huh? It's like, you got 80-year-olds without masks, and they were like, bah! And it was kind of it almost turned into a Trump rally.
That was my first road gig. Like, March, the country shut down. And then it was either late June or early July. I took a stab at going back on the road to see if I was comfortable. And I went to the West Palm Beach Improv.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't believe. Because I was in California the whole time.
Pack it in, baby.
I was like,
pack it in.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I came in freaked out.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, they don't have masks on? Bars were open?
It's a political statement. It's like defiance. It's almost like they told me to wear a mask. I'm an American. I ain't doing it. You know what I mean? It's like it became political.
Well, it's almost like when they tell you to wear a mask, right? When majority of people say wear a mask, gonna help you. It goes back to almost like the vaccine now.
I know.
Like, I can't wait to get it.
Me too.
And
even
Chris
though
Rock,
I had COVID, but yeah.
I did too. I didn't get on Facebook and say, pray for me. I kept it in-house, quiet.
Just take pictures of yourself.
Oh, I got so pissed at my road manager. My road manager caught it and immediately went to Facebook. Hey, could you guys pray to get this COVID out of my system? And I called him. I said, you in the hospital? He goes, no, I'm in line Chick-fil-A. I go, why the fuck you on Facebook asking for prayers?
Look, you attention seeker. Suck it up.
Right.
Walk it off, you bitch. Fucking rub some dirt on it.
I was like, now the clubs are calling because you're always with me. Yeah. I go, I've already had it and it's gone. I'm good. I can go back on the road. Now they don't want to know if anyone, because Brad got it. Brad's been with me for like 11, 12 years.
Right.
So they're like, if Brad got it, he got it from Gary, which he did.
Probably did.
But he got it like a week later. It was already out of me. So he couldn't go on the road with me for like a month.
I caught it. I caught it in Texas where they just packed
San Antonio.
It in. Yeah.
I was there 2 weeks after you.
They were like, well, the laws are 200 people. 400.
Yeah.
And you come off stage and they're like, ah! And you're just walking through a COVID cloud.
Yeah.
But I mean, now that I have it, I feel invincible.
Yeah, it's weird. Was it bad? Or what was...
I have to be honest. It humbled me.
Oh, it got you pretty good?
It sat me down.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I'm the kind of guy, I'm like, I'm sick. I had swine flu. That was so bad. I was performing. I was performing with the flu. I could, when you can't have trouble standing up. I was like, watch this, and then it just sat me down. But COVID is weird because you feel generally shitty, right? But for me, she was a cruel mistress, Madam COVID. She was a cruel mistress because she was like, here's what I'm gonna do. Here's what I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna go after your calves and your hammies if you don't mind. Yeah, you take a seat.
You hurt there?
Oh, dude. Oh, shut me down. And then she was like, you know what? Why don't we hit your ass in your lower back right now? Because you seem a little too flexible for me and it's pissing me off. And so that seized up for about 3 days. Then my back and my head, like the back of my head, it was so weird. And then the front of my head, then my whole head. And then week 2, she decided to get in my lungs.
Week 2? Like, you had it for like 2 weeks?
I had it for 19 days, brother.
Like feeling like shit 19 days or tested negative?
Like feeling like shit and coughing, cough, where I had to go on an inhalable steroid.
Really?
Yeah, and that cured me.
Did you feel like shit or did it just get real fucking hot in here?
I produce heat.
I'm like this. Yo, as you're talking about COVID, I can feel the heat coming on. I'm like, yo,
he's getting
is this
a fever.
COVID talk or this heater's hot as fuck?
Yep. He's getting a fever.
Well, you had it worse than me. Because I had one night of bed sweats.
Yeah. Some people.
I caught it. I don't know where I caught it, but I felt it in Phoenix.
Wow.
And I was like, I was damn near following you for like 3 weeks. Like you were in San Antonio and I was in Phoenix 3 weeks after you.
Wow.
And
you should just tell me that so I can tell them to come see you.
Yeah.
It's good advertising,
as soon as I got there, they go, we've heard you're hard to work with. Every club, I was like, why did San Antonio feel that way?
Come on. Gary Owen, very funny. Hard to work with, but very funny.
Yeah.
Make sure you come see him.
If he didn't sell tickets, we would never bring him. He's abusive to everybody.
He hits.
Yeah.
With the back of his hand.
He only tips on Sunday to the green room waitress.
And then he'll paintbrush your face. Bang, bang.
No. I had the bed sweats, and then I just remember I was in denial. Like, I was like this. I said, definitely not COVID. I'm just sick. And then I got tested. I was positive. God, and I had to call everybody. And everybody came back positive. Oh, everyone I called, I was like, yo, get checked. Everybody. And then the one guy that said he wasn't, he goes, I'm good. No, I feel great. I'm sorry, well, I got to take a week off, and then I'm going to get tested before I go back on the road. Took a week off, went to Cleveland, and I told the guy, I said, now I'm negative, but I don't know what the deal is, so we got to wear masks in the green room, right?
Right.
That lasted about a day. This dude flicks it off. All of a sudden, we're in Columbus. Thursday night in Columbus, he goes, we had 2 shows. He gets done with the first show, and he's literally in the corner. You've been to Columbus, obviously.
Yeah.
Green room's kind of small.
Yeah.
I'm on the couch. He's on the chair by a little mini fridge. Leaning over the fridge.
No.
I go, dude, you got to go home. He goes, no, I can finish this last show. I go, I'll do a one-man show. You got to go. You got it. He goes, no. And then he tells me, dude, I almost passed out. On stage, I go, you got to go home now.
Yes, super spreader.
Right.
Get the fuck out of here.
Sure enough, he called me. Dude, I got it. He had it. I said, I told you. And so I clearly gave it to him at some point.
Yeah, you did. Well, you don't know, though. People catch it in the weirdest ways. They're super careful. They come down with it. So we don't know. I think we're going to find out in 5 years how the shit was spread. Because it can probably spread in 1,000 ways. But that reminds me of my friend one time called me up. And he goes, hey, man, do you know anything about, like, it's weird, like, when I pee? And I'm like, what do you mean? And he goes, I'm sure I don't have anything, but you ever had a situation where it kind of, I'm like, does it burn a little bit? He goes, no, it doesn't burn. It just feels a little weird. That's all. I'm like, Go, probably got yourself some chlamydia or gonorrhea. He goes and gets tested. Comes back, goes, yeah, man, I got it. And my heart's beating really fast. I go, I don't know, just take a pill or something. And then he goes, yeah, that's not what I'm worried about. I got to call some people. And I go, well, you definitely got to call some people because if a woman has it, she may not know she has it and she can go sterile. So you got to call. You have to.
Oh, wow.
And so he goes, yeah, I will. It's just that and I go, what's the matter? He goes, it's more than one. And I go, well, how many is it? And he goes, I got to call 6 girls. And he had to call all 6 of them. Ugh. Hey, just so you know, you might want to go get tested.
Well, how long ago was this? I didn't know those diseases were still out there.
Fucking
you went old school.
15 years. Yeah, but I was just thinking about how COVID's become the new gonorrhea.
Facts. Any other thing you're relieved?
Dude.
And the scare tactics, if you watch TV, because as soon as it happened in March, shut down the country, I go, first time a teenager catches it and dies, they're gonna go, see?
Yeah.
First time fully healthy trainer gets it, see?
Yeah.
I go, they're gonna scare the shit out of you. And I bought in the first couple months. I did.
Yeah.
And then I talked to a lot of people who worked in the medical field. And I called everyone healthier than me. I called Romney Malco and this girl named Margot Bing. Anybody I had worked with in the past that I was like, oh, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And they told me what to take to boost my immune system. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I think that's why I shook it so fast. Because the guy in Columbus was a fried food, drinking motherfucker.
He went down.
He went down hard.
Yeah, man.
I'm like, I'm over here taking vitamin D.
Yeah, but I was doing that shit and it still got me. Believe me. I do all that stuff.
That means you would have been dead.
Oh, I'm
I'm
vitamin D, I'm a zinc guy, I'm all that shit, quercetin, all that stuff. Meanwhile,
what is quercetin?
That's actually an amazing supplement. So quercetin and they're really, you got to be careful with supplements, but there's been some really good peer-reviewed studies. So one of the things about science is that you always want to look at peer-reviewed studies. So what does that mean? It's like you get a nutritionist who says, take this, take that, and okay, that's fine. Okay, you're a nutritionist, dude. I want the scientists that are doing the primary research. Why? Because when you write a scientific paper on, say, the efficacy of zinc and quercetin.
I don't know what efficacy means.
I'm sorry, dude. I'm super educated. Sorry, guys. Efficacy. For you guys who don't speak English, how effective it is. Okay. When you write a paper like that, every scientist in your field is trying to prove you wrong. You have to be able to replicate that particular experiment and get the same results. That's called the scientific method. That's what it's called when you say it's peer-reviewed. If it's peer-reviewed and a bunch of other scientists from a lot of different countries and a lot of different labs went, we did the same experiment and arrived at the same conclusion, now we're on to something, right? So it's one thing to take zinc, but are you absorbing the zinc? It's really hard to absorb. But apparently quercetin, which is this supplement, I think it's a plant bioflavonoid or some shit like that.
I thought it was a running back.
No, dude.
I played against them. You talking about Quercetin Jackson? That dude, he ran a 4.3 in 8th grade.
That man can run.
Quercetin?
He can outrun COVID.
No fucking joke.
Quercetin. God, somebody's going to be named Quercetin. That's a great fucking name. Captain Quercetin. Captain Quercetin, we saw the orca. It's calm, Captain Quercetin.
That's going to be, I guarantee you, there's going to be a Quentin Tarantino movie. And literally Quercetin's going to come in with the musical theme behind him.
I just want to be that. I want certain things I want to say. I want you to be like, say, just look at me and go, it's calm, Captain. We're looking out on the horizon. We're on a ship. Do it. We're ready to go.
It's calm, Captain.
Hey, to come. That sounds good, dude. That's so fucking dramatic. I want to be that actor. I just want to say shit like that.
Did you say it's too calm?
Yeah. Hey, too calm. You see the gravel in my voice, dude?
But you know, if you're a captain, you got your coffee.
Yeah.
Too calm.
You drink coffee. I drink fucking rum.
Yeah.
Hey, too calm.
Is Captain drinking? Captain Callen drinking? When is he not?
He's
the best. He's allowed.
But when I drink, I go like this. I growl.
Rules don't apply to him. He knocked out Quercetin. 14 years ago on the flight deck.
Quercetin. Take quercetin and zinc, because quercetin allows you to absorb the zinc. Listen to Dr. Callen. Here I go again with my opinions, because I read one fucking study. Right. Problem with me is I read a lot, but the problem is I will echo the last book I read. Like I read this book called The Fifth Risk by Michael Lewis about how the things that the Department of Energy and the Department of Agriculture, Department of Commerce do. So basically, certain things that government does that we don't know about, like scientists that are working on important things like keeping track of our nuclear weapons, nuclear waste, shit like that. I don't know. And or predicting the weather so you don't get swept up in a tornado or hurricane, et cetera, et cetera.
Jeez, I don't even read scripts.
Oh, dude, and I'm dropping all this knowledge. And my father looks at me, he's 80. He goes, yeah, I hear you. You read a book. My dad puts me in check all the time.
Where's your dad live?
Utah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's not you're not City. From there. You're from New York.
Nah, New York, but Park City.
How did he end up there?
just retired there, man. Made some money. And he was like, I want to go up to the mountains and be left alone. I'm going to walk. I'm going to take Italian. I'm going to learn the guitar. And I'm going to play fucking golf. And I'm going to read.
Best restaurant I ever went to was in Park City, Utah.
Where?
It was called the Horse. Black Horse?
Oh.
Or something.
It's not the Black Horse. It's a different horse.
What kind of horse?
I don't know. Maybe it was the
Steel Horse. Can we look that up?
I think it was Robert Redford owned it.
Park City, Utah, and it's something horse.
What'd you eat? Like venison or something?
I had the wild game.
Yeah, dude. Did I call it?
So it was like buffalo, elk, and something else.
Yep.
Bison. Huh?
Yeah, it's a river horse.
River horse.
I've eaten there.
They got like a wild game plate. Yo, I was driving a U-Haul from Cincinnati to San Francisco. We were moving.
Yeah.
So me and my road manager Brad drove this U-Haul across country, and we just I go, dude, let's get a decent meal, because you're eating like shit on the road.
Yeah.
So we saw Park City about 15 minutes out of the way.
Great little town.
So we drive through in our U-Haul. I go, the River Horse. Is that what it's called?
Yeah. That's
go,
Robert Redford's old restaurant. Yeah.
And there was a birthday party with like 20 women, and they all were blonde hair, looked like late 40s, early 50s. Everybody had the Namus brand shit on, and it looked like a
lot of money.
I know. I was like this. Who are they fucking? Who they married to? Because they looked at me. They looked like me and Brad, like we were so beneath them because we looked like shit. We're in sweats.
What's with the paupers in the U-Haul?
But here's the crazy part. I think there's a little dress code. The one black girl in Park City was working the hostess stand. So when I walked in, I go, "Hey, is there a dress code?" Because we would have changed in the U-Haul. We had a suitcase. She goes, "Gary Owen?" I go, "Yeah." She goes, "What are you doing here?" I go, "The U-Haul. We're moving across country." She goes, "I got you."
That makes you feel so good.
Walked us in and sat us at some side table so nobody noticed we had these raggedy sweats on. And I remember we were eating. I looked at Brad and I go, "Yo, is this shit as good as I think?" He goes, "Dude, my shit." I was like, we were fucking destroying that food.
Yeah.
And I don't even really get dessert, but I had to get one because we were there. You want dessert? I go, "Yeah, I do."
Dude.
Yes.
I had a guy.
River Horse.
I was torn between the elk in this restaurant, between the elk and, I don't know, the chicken. And the waiter goes, "Get the elk." And I said, "You think?" And he goes, "Take the essence of the elk into your body." I'll get 2 plates, and then I will run in the forest. And then I will run. I will run naked and feel the branches caress my skin.
What city was that in?
I don't know. That story probably didn't happen, but I like the story.
It
did happen. It did
Did
happen.
a waiter say feel the essence of the
Yes,
elk?
it was in Colorado, I believe. But he was being silly, but it was the greatest thing I'd ever heard. It's like when I asked a sommelier about a wine. I was at...
what the fuck is a sommelier? Dude, you got to slow down.
I'm an aristocrat.
But I understand that. Even my fans don't know what you mean. And I want them to understand this podcast.
A sommelier is the wine expert in a restaurant.
They're going to be like, "Yo, Gary had this great French comedian on, Bryan Callen, and he spoke. He kept going from English to French."
He's a European. Yes. Well, anyway, the sommelier, everyone. That's an obnoxious thing to say. But this guy who's the wine expert, I love wine, right? And I'd have way more money if I didn't like wine.
You should have brought a bottle.
I can't drink. I'll fall asleep. I got to drink at.
No, I just mean as a gift to me for having you on.
But you wouldn't appreciate it. You'd be like, "This wine. I think this wine is good.
Cabernet.
This is
red."
Good.
That's what I know. Like red, when they come, "Hey, we got a wine list." I go, "Red."
See, now
Cabernet?
what I'd like to do with you is I'd like to show you the difference. I guarantee if I brought a house wine, the kind of wine you like, a Cabernet. I say out of the corner of my mouth.
Yeah.
See what I do with condescension?
Good one, right?
And then I brought you a wine. And you'd see, and anybody would see the difference. That's my favorite thing.
And I live right near Napa Valley.
Oh, fuck, dude.
My neighbors, that's all I do is drink wine all day.
Yeah, it becomes an obsession.
Well,
but
then
it's too
you
expensive.
go to somebody's house, and you always got to bring a bottle.
I know, bro.
And I'm looking at my wife like this. Slow down.
Yeah. And here's what I do. When you bring a bottle to my house, I look at it and I go, it's cute. And I tuck it away.
Well, they'll tell me. My neighbors are quick to be like, "Yo, Gary, you want some wine?" And they'll pour me like, $125 bottle of wine right there.
Yeah.
Like, almost like, don't fucking waste it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Have you tried Dwayne Wade's wine, The Way of Wade?
No, and I won't.
Oh.
I'm a snob.
Well, he's
and
got
I
an
love him.
expensive bottle.
Oh, he does?
And he's got a cheaper bottle.
Yeah.
So I remember when he first busted it out a couple years ago, I just felt like I name dropped. But
Oh, you know him. See, I think that'd be a big deal.
Well, I worked with Gabrielle. We did 2 movies together. So of course,
right, okay.
Dwayne.
Yeah.
So what do you call it? He goes, which one, Gary? And I go, I don't want you to hate me, but I like the cheaper shit better than more expensive shit. And then Dwayne was
sweeter?
like, yeah. It just tasted better to me.
Yeah, that's
and
okay.
I was like, he goes, yeah. I don't know if he'd ever admit it. He goes, yeah, I know what you're talking about. He wouldn't admit it, but he was like, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I go, I like the cheap. Could be the trailer park in me. Yeah. I like the cheap shit.
But there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with like wine, like anything else. My problem is I used to like that cheap shit too. Now here's the problem. I'm friends with rich people. Because sometimes you have a couple of rich friends and who like wine, and I know restaurant owners. So when you know restaurant owners and you have a couple rich friends who open those crazy bottles, you're ruined. You're done, man.
What about cigars?
Like, let's try this. I'm not a cigar guy, but I'm sure I'd be the same way.
I know a lot of cigar smokers. They describe cigars exactly how you just described wine.
Yeah.
Exactly. They're like, because I like these cigars called Isla del Sols. They got a little flavor to them. Mm-hmm. And they're like, your palate will change.
There you go.
The more you're around cigar smokers, the more you smoke. So far, it hasn't.
Listen, man, it's also like everything in life is like that, which I kind of like. Like jazz. I don't know jazz, but if you listen to jazz with somebody who knows the difference, they can tell you the difference between an amazing trumpet player or somebody who can swing and somebody who can't. So they're listening to something completely different than you are. You understand? That's what I love about art or any kind of, when you develop a palate for anything. Scotch. I don't know. I had somebody poured me, I was in Kentucky, and they poured me like a $300 shot. I didn't pay for it, but they were like, now this, because it was like a special occasion. To me, man, I don't drink scotch or bourbon. So for me, I was like, oh, tastes just like this over here. Either way, it's hard to drink. But I love that about when you understand, I think when you understand what it takes. So Japanese, you know what Japanese one brush stroke painting is? Because I didn't.
No.
So there's this art in Japanese, in the Japanese tradition, okay, where you take a brush. You are not allowed, your painting you're never allowed to take the brush off the canvas. You have to paint something in one stroke. They do some crazy genius shit that way. But the minute you pull it off, the painting's done.
It's like masturbating.
It's like masturbating.
You can't take your hand off of it.
You can't take your hand. I do, though.
Then you gotta start all over.
I take a break and I go like this and I just admire things. And I arch my back a little and I go, still got it. Still fucking got it.
Or you're like this. No, I'm not ready yet.
Yep.
I'm not ready to finish.
And then I dip it in paint and I do one brush stroke painting with it. And then I have to go to the doctor. But yeah, so thanks for taking my whole fucking metaphor.
Sorry about that.
It's all right, because you got bored and so did I. We all got bored. I'm talking about wine.
I'll tell you what, you completely changed the subject. My segues are awful. You were in one of my favorite shows that I got to know over COVID, which is Kingdom. Never watched it. I didn't even realize that show came out like 6 years ago.
Yeah, man.
On what network?
On Direct TV. So when we were doing it, nobody was watching it. And then they were supposed to have a season 4, and they were just like, we can't afford this because nobody's watching it. And then Netflix picked it up, or no, I think somebody who was a famous director tweeted, this is the best show nobody knows about. And Netflix went, really? And then they put it on and bang. That's the thing you don't know. Like when I did The Hangover, nobody knew it was going to be huge. I mean, but Todd Phillips, the director, I said, what are you making for this? Because he's a friend of mine. He goes, you're making more than I am. I was, what? He goes, I'm getting a back end. He just put his trust in, and then the rest is history. But you don't know something's going to be as big as it is when you're doing it. You just show up. Everything's an accident.
I thought that was like a Netflix original. And then all of a sudden, literally, I was watching the, because, we're in the business, so you watch credits.
Yeah.
So I'm watching the credits, and then literally I paused and I go, wait a minute, did that say 2014?
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, what the fuck? And then I was like, wait, this show's been out?
Yeah.
And completely
It's crazy.
missed?
It was 6 years ago. That's fucking crazy.
That one?
Written primarily by one guy, Byron. Can't remember his last name. But he wrote it himself.
The show?
Yeah, dude. A lot of that stuff was just by him. Like, that's one dude sitting there. I mean, he had some other writers, but for the most part, a lot of those episodes, from what I understand, written by one dude.
Well, I think what I like most about it...
Galasco, something like that.
Was, I mean, obviously, UFC and fighting was the backdrop, but it's really about a dysfunctional family. And when you come from a dysfunctional family, when you see it, you're like, oh, I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
Everybody's going through their own shit.
Yeah, bro.
So I identified like so many different characters and different episodes. Like, oh yeah, I get that. Oh yeah, I've seen that happen.
Do you think there's anything? Sometimes I really wonder, and this is being serious, if there is any such thing as a functional family. I've seen them. I've seen them on the surface.
Obamas?
That might be that might be an example. That might be one example. But for the most part, I really believe that it's very rare to see a functional. If you see a functioning family, be careful. Something's going on. I actually don't buy it for the most part.
It's almost like when an athlete, a professional athlete, gets caught cheating, whether on a girlfriend or a wife, doesn't have to be married, and the media throws him through the coals like he ain't shit, he's a dog. I said, whoa, 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 whoa. If you in your early 20s, you have millions of dollars and whatever market you're in, whatever city that is you play in, you are an A-list celebrity.
When you see people at the top of the food chain like that, when they have money and looks and they're young, like, because let's face it, a lot of pro athletes, they can get laid. They can get but some of them are. They can get laid. Like when you see like, he's 6'3" and he's 220 pounds of muscle, and he's got a square jaw. Yeah, dude. Yeah, you know, it's like you see like, have you ever seen Derek Jeter in person? He looks small. Meanwhile, you look at him and you're like, well, you're 6'3", you're 220, you have green eyes and a jaw that could carve a trophy. Yeah.
Let me tell you a great Derek Jeter story. Was the Super Bowl in Tampa. So it was the year the Steelers were playing the Cardinals. It was probably 10, 11 years ago. There's a girl there that was on, she was one of the girls off Flavor of Love. Yeah. And she's you've been to the Hard Rock in Tampa?
Yes, I have.
She's standing there.
Oh, no, not Tampa, no.
She's standing there. She got this group of like 5, 6 guys taking pictures, and she's kind of being like standoffish, kind of a bitch type deal, vibe. Don't bother me, everything, right? And the crowd's getting a little bigger around her. And all of a sudden, the casino starts to fucking move, man. The whole crowd is going like this.
Yep.
And I'm going,
and the Prince walked in.
Who is there?
The Prince.
Who was in the middle of that?
Yeah.
And it was Jeter.
Yeah.
And when he walked by the Flavor of Love girl, she was all by herself. The guys with her just was going with the crowd, right? Oh, yeah. And I was like, what the fuck was that?
Yes.
It was like, everybody just swept. And all of a sudden, like, all the tables were open. Yeah, the slot machines open. Everybody just went with them.
Yeah, I know.
Because keep in mind, this was when he was at the top.
Oh, yeah.
He was playing with the Yankees.
He was balletic. He was
my God. I was like, levels to this shit.
He'd be chewing gum. He'd be chewing gum. Everything's on the line. And he'd ground something and jump in the air just for kicks. Just be like, I'm going to jump in the air and point my toes and throw this guy out at first. Like, that dude and it'd be everything went on, just chewing gum, his face normal, just let me hit a home run or just let me hit a double right here and get us out of this hole. I love the way that guy played.
You a Yankee fan?
I am, because my roots on the Italian side are New York.
What's your favorite sport?
Fighting, UFC.
UFC or boxing?
Both. I love both. Boxing's so exciting right now, I can't take it. It's so exciting.
Who do you think's going to win, Mayweather or Logan Paul?
I mean, Logan's so big and athletic, and his brother. I was watching his brother, Jake Paul, spar. I like to box,
Yeah.
I haven't sparred in a little while, but like I would never first of all, I'm too old, but like if you get in the ring with those kids, they're like 23 and 25. They're very big and strong, and they can hit, and they're athletic enough to really understand. I mean, I think Jake Paul really works at it. Like, he's got to be careful. If you watch this kid spar, he's banging with real boxers and getting cracked himself and getting wobbled and knocked out. So, he's very serious about it. You make a mistake against a guy like that. Now, good luck putting a glove on Floyd Mayweather. What makes him so amazing is the man can see everything you're doing before you do it. Okay, that's what I love about deep skill. That's why a chess player can beat you every single time, because they've seen the board 1,000 times. They're just ahead of you. It's like when you roll jiu-jitsu with a really good jiu-jitsu guy. Anything you do, they can feel, and they're like, you're going for a ride. Is that what you're going to do?
This is what I think is going to happen. I think right now, no doubt Logan Paul is going to come in shape, ready to go. He's got his corner. He got his homeboys hyping him up. He does that ring walk. And he sees Mayweather walk in that ring. That's when I think it's going to be like, oh, shit. what just happened, what I get myself into. And I think the great boxers, they're not caught up in the moment. Floyd's so used to being in the moment. He's going to be calm. It's going to be like me and you talking right now.
Yeah, bro.
Where Logan Paul is going to be like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Them nerves kick in.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, shortness of breath. And all of a sudden, Floyd's going to be like, beep, beep, a couple of times. He's going to be like, wait a minute. I just really got hit. And I didn't see it coming.
Well, I think Logan's going to find that Floyd is over to his left or to his right or just out of reach, and he's going to reach and commit and then bop, 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 you know. But I think that Floyd will pepper him up and make it exciting and not get hit. Mm-hmm. And then when he wants to close it and put his fist on the back of your jaw and put you to sleep, that's very possible for him. I don't know.
And here's the thing about Floyd. I remember Jason Kidd when he was playing for the Mavericks and he finally won an NBA title and he was like 40. And somebody was like, dude, how are you playing so well at your age? And he goes, listen, it's not the games that make you old. It's what you do in between the games that make you old. Floyd doesn't drink.
Yeah.
Floyd doesn't smoke. He goes out, but then he goes to the gym after he goes to the club and works out.
And not only that, excuse me, but he's really, I can count the people that have Sugar Shane Mosley hit him once. Maidana hit him once. Emmanuel Augustus, who everybody should always watch.
Oh, I love Emmanuel Augustus.
The drunken master. He got hit. He gave Floyd fits when he was younger. But for the most part, the man hasn't been touched.
Right.
The man, what I love about Floyd, and he doesn't get his due, is he beat the game of boxing, a sport that breaks so many and renders so many penniless. The man retired with his face and brain intact, and because his uncle and his father were great boxers in their own right, and they said, here's the name of the game, bro. You don't get hit. Learn how to box. Learn how to be just out of reach. He's the greatest defensive boxer, and maybe James Toney behind him ever. That to me is the most impressive. You know, you can say what you want about Manny Pacquiao, who's one of the greatest of all time and phenomenal. They said he had a bad shoulder when he fought Floyd. He still made Manny Pacquiao, the great Manny Pacquiao, look a little, with all due respect, I say this, a little clumsy. I mean, he was missing him, man.
Even Canelo.
I mean, come on. Canelo, one of the greatest.
People.
I mean, he's one of the greatest. That guy's going to go down as top 5, I think. Canelo.
Fight wasn't even close.
Oh, bro. He takes on all comers. Guy's much bigger than him.
Mm-hmm. And I hate how people be like, well, he gets people on before their prime or after their prime. I go, did you forget Ricky Hatton?
Come on, man.
Ricky Hatton was undefeated.
Yeah.
Knocking guys out. Just
the most exciting boxer.
Yeah,
I was at that fight.
With the Ricky Hatton one?
Yeah, when he fought Mayweather.
Yeah. They really made people think Ricky Hatton had a shot. I remember you used to always tell
people. Knocked him out with a check hook. Bop.
I said, I'll bet anybody any amount of money, and I'd take Floyd every time.
Yeah.
I said, every time he fought, I always got them guys, man, you got to take him. I go, ain't even going to be close, bro. Because he gets in there, figures you out.
And you can't get ready for a fight like that. That's the other problem. So when you spar, what you do is you bring in your camp fighters that approximate the guy you're going to go with. So if you're fighting a tall fighter, you're going to bring in a tall fighter, okay? You can't, but the problem is no sparring partner you're paying $500 or whatever a week is going to be able to emulate what you see. That was the other problem with Pacquiao. People would fight Pacquiao and they'd bring in people to fight to approximate Pacquiao. Here's what they didn't account for: his speed. I think it was De La Hoya who said, "I can deal with his power, I can't deal with his speed." He had this crazy speed. So sometimes you just can't get ready for someone's power, someone's speed, and that's kind of what makes them, so special.
Who do you think the best UFC fighter is?
John Jones.
Yeah, me too.
But
he does it like high on coke and everything.
Oh,
man,
bro,
that guy's amazing.
He's also innovative, and he probably works way harder than people give him credit for. Oh, and by the way, he's NFL quality athletic. I mean, his 2 brothers are Pro Bowlers. Okay, and so he was the one who got beat up by those guys.
Yeah.
You wonder what they would have been like.
Fuck, my brother's at the Waffle House.
What's that?
My brother works at the Waffle House.
I know, bro. I know.
Oh, mom and dad wasn't breeding like that.
No. It's a whole different thing, man. It's a different thing. So, but there are, listen, man, one of the things I say about the UFC is that no one is ever talking about what it's done for women. Like, we have this feminist movement, we have all this, gender talk. Why aren't people talking about how amazing the women of the UFC are? And more importantly, how they've changed the hearts and minds of a bunch of bros and a bunch of guys who never thought women were capable of fighting. Why don't we talk about that? Joanna Jędrzejczyk and whatever the woman from China, that battle they had, one of the best fights personally I've ever seen. Rose Namajunas, her skill level when she's fighting people. Oh, I can go down the list. Valentina Shevchenko, her level of wrestling, her level of striking, in my humble opinion, is as good in many ways as almost any man that steps in that ring. Maybe as good. Fundamentals, ferocity, competitive spirit. But that shit is unbelievable. They're just as exciting to watch.
How about nobody brings up the fact that Ronda Rousey's comeback fight was against Amanda Nunes, who nobody knew was about to be that chick. I didn't.
Bro, I said when I watched her, nobody knew she was, and I watched slow motion of her throwing bones. I was watching the way she was throwing, and I was like, I'm sorry. I was like a little mouse. I was like, I'm sorry. Did anybody see the way she's throwing punches?
Okay, so if you're that guy and you're just not just a comedian, I mean, you're an avid watcher.
Yeah.
How did her camp not know that?
They did.
Why would they pick
you're talking about
Ronda Rousey's camp? Why would they pick Amanda Nunes?
Because Ronda Rousey was such an extreme winner. No one had an answer for her armbar or her ground game. And it's hard sometimes to see Amanda Nunes, because when you watch Amanda Nunes fighting somebody you've beaten or somebody because the women's division back then wasn't as deeply skilled as it is now. Mm-hmm. So a lot of those women were coming in without as much experience. So along comes Amanda Nunes. They didn't know her.
Because my thing is, if Ronda Rousey comes back and she was like a Conor McGregor, she just was box office, win or lose, you just want to see her fight. Mm-hmm. I would have put her up against somebody that had no kind of power.
Yeah.
And just be like,
that's
and you're telling me you knew it?
You can do that in boxing. You can't do that in MMA. The UFC doesn't operate that way. Mm. They throw you to the wolves. Jesus and remember, Christ. Ronda Rousey was the biggest draw. And so they were, it started out, first of all, with Holly Holm. Holly Holm was a counterpuncher. And Holly Holm was a 17-time world champion. And Holly Holm was every bit as big or bigger than Ronda and strong. Right? So she understood they just worked clinch. They said, Ronda puts you in a headlock. She does that judo stuff. So make sure you keep her hips away and blah, blah, blah. There's a way to neutralize that. Because she had people in her camp who understood what Ronda was doing. They could break down, they could see her fights, and the thing is it's like that expression, I don't fight fights, I solve fights. So you can study tape and see where people, what they do, what their happy place is, and then you just work on neutralizing that. It's like quarterbacks, right? What I love about the NFL. You were awesome in college. You can run? Oh, great. So we're just going to force you to sit back in the pocket now and pass. So RG3, you're an amazing runner. You're a man amongst boys. You're an incredible athlete. But can you read a backfield? You were able to read a backfield when you had 10 seconds. Can you read a backfield when you have 2 seconds? And somebody much bigger than you is going to flatten you? That's kind of the same idea. They can break you down.
Now, how'd you feel when you found out Tom Hardy was that guy's brother?
I don't remember.
When you were announcing that fight.
Oh, that was dude. You mean a warrior? I was going to say. I thought you were talking about
where. How did you?
Dan Hardy.
How did you feel?
I'm glad you said. Well, I want to go through my acting process, guys. Can I? Let me get about 15 minutes.
I'm being sarcastic. One of my favorite, just fighting movies. You got your Rockies, but Warrior.
Yeah.
I didn't think it got its just due as a movie.
It didn't.
I had for the longest time. I had 3 movies on my iPad that I just bought that I wanted downloaded. Like I can go to at any point. It was Shawshank, it was Braveheart, and Warrior. Because they never get boring. I watch them every time like this.
How about Nick Nolte in that when he played the drunk? How about that scene? Christ. And I remember I knew who he was. I mean, he's the maestro. He's a Hall of Famer. So when he'd come into the room, guess who would give him his seat? Bryan Callen. I would get up. I go, Nick, you want to? I would wait on him. When people are like, "What are you doing?" I go, "What am I doing?"
It's 48 hours, bro.
That's a Hall of Famer. I remember I would do that. They were laughing at me because I was like, "Nick, can I get you something? Do you want?" I was like that guy.
Yeah.
I would wait on him.
Yeah.
And you know, because and no, whatever, and then you see him and you go, when he plays that drunk scene, okay, yeah, we'll give you.
You talking about in the hotel room?
Yeah.
See the process. Would you go in on your days off?
He can do that. He can do that. He can be drinking coffee and go, Nick, you ready to shoot that scene? And he'll go, yeah, okay, give me no time, I got you, and he does that. I'm not kidding. That's how good he is.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's what once again, Hall of Famer. That's Hall of Famer, and that's just a lifetime of acting and probably drinking too. But either way, he was.
God, that movie was good. Warrior. Yeah. I remember watching it, not knowing what it was about, and somehow I just stumbled across it and watched it. And then when I got done, I forgot the title, and I could not remember the movie for like a year. I was like this. I'm trying to tell me, yo, I watch this UFC movie, man. I don't know what it's about. Yeah. I didn't know Tom Hardy's name. I didn't know Frank Grillo's name.
Nobody did.
I didn't know anybody in the movie. I was
like,
this.
Frank Grillo?
I did.
You just said Spanish?
Yeah.
Frank Grillo. Frank Grillo.
Whatever that dude's name
I can just see Frank going, hey, what the fuck? One of my best friends. Frank Grillo. Say Grillo.
Frank Grillo?
By the way, a legit tough guy as far as an actor's concerned.
Frank Grillo?
Yeah.
My fault?
Grillo. That's Spanish, bro. Frank Grillo. Couldn't be more Italian. But thank you for making him Cuban. He may as well be. Frank
When
Grillo.
he was eating those quesadillas. That guy.
I want to apologize to the Latin community.
When I say Frank Grillo?
That was so perfect. Frank Grillo was really good in Kingdom and Warrior. Really good. Frank Grillo.
I can't believe I said that.
I'm gonna post just this part. I'm posting just this part on my Instagram, and then I'm gonna as a link to this.
I really thought it was pronounced Grillo.
Of course you did. I mean, where do you live? Santo Domingo? What's going on, bro? God damn it, Gary. You're from Cincinnati.
I really thought it was Frank Grillo.
I mean, do you say sangria as well? Like you're from Indiana or Ohio. Fucking all of a sudden he's got a Spanish accent.
Time, I feel like this. Yo, you see the movie with Tom Hardy and Frank Grillo?
Yeah. Are you gonna call me?
Nobody corrected me.
Is my name Bryan Callen? Because I got two L's. Bryan Callen is our guest.
And I know so many people that worked with him.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, dude, I'm sweating.
Yeah.
That's one of the few guys I DM'd on Instagram.
You should have him on the podcast.
I DM'd Frank Grillo.
Yeah, Grillo. Frank
and
Grillo.
I just said, yo, because I was shooting a movie in Oklahoma City, and he was in Tulsa.
Yeah.
For a minute, I thought we were in the same city. I saw Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I wonder if he's close or at the same hotel. You know, I was just going to see if I run into him. I was going to be like, yo, I like the movie. You know, I was going to tell him the whole Frank Grillo.
Frank Grillo.
I'm glad.
Nobody looks better. Nobody.
Me.
You want to feel bad about yourself? Look at what he looks like at his age. He doesn't dye his hair. Just black hair.
65?
55.
No fucking way. That guy's 55.
I shouldn't have said his name, but it's on Google. Yeah, dude, you don't. Nobody ages like that.
Wow.
I mean, he doesn't use any dye. His hair. I always tease him. I go, "You dye your hair." He goes, "You want to bet?" He's just
because it just hit me. You guys, you worked with Frank Grillo.
Yeah.
Kingdom and The Warrior.
Yeah.
Both fighting movies.
It's Warrior. Don't say The Warrior.
It's just Warrior?
Yeah.
Fuck. I'm fucking everything up.
Everybody says that.
So you work with Frank in Fault in Our Stars, Twilight. Jesus Christ.
I was the vampire. I was the vampire. I was the vampire in Twilight when I was younger with tighter skin. And I had a full head of hair. I was super sexy. I was super cute. My mother has a headshot of me when I was 22.
I'm never going to live that down. Yo, Frank Grillo.
Frank Grillo.
Grillo.
Grillo. From Cuba.
I'll butcher some fucking names, bro.
That's okay.
Just heads up.
I do too.
I will butcher some names.
I do too. No, I don't. I'm just trying to make you feel
The
better.
Warrior. It was so good, though. It's not even the
Warrior.
It should have been the Warrior.
It's an awkward name. I think
been the Warrior.
The studio didn't want that name, from what I understand. But it took when I went to the premiere. Gavin O'Connor, who helped write with Anthony Tambakis that movie, and he directed it, and I think it was such a love affair, and it took all of him to put that movie out there like that. He was crying, like he was trying to make a speech and thank everybody, and I think the emotion,
at the premiere?
that the emotion, he couldn't get through it. He's a macho dude, a D1 football player and all that. And he was weeping on the mic, and we were just all laughing in a good way. It was like, this guy, it's like when you win the championship and you got the trophy and you're just, I can't really talk right now. My emotions, you know, it was that. And but it was so heartfelt and honest that we were like, this dude, it took him like 45 minutes to get through the speech just to thank people.
But if you have a passion project, like that was probably that guy's, it's not about how much money it's going to make the box office or who sees it. It's like, I got it done. I got this shit done.
And then the heartbreak about movies is nobody goes to see it until later. When you make a beautiful piece of work, though, it finds its way.
Yeah.
Right?
I found it. Dude, I watched it. Couldn't find it for another year.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I figured out what it was, probably because I was, Siri, can you tell me Frank Grillo movies?
The Purge 2, Purge 3. He does a lot of those action movies.
Yeah.
Black and Blue or whatever.
I can't believe.
That's so funny. Frank Grillo.
And that's where I should have known his name after that because he worked with Deion Taylor, who I've worked on a couple films with.
You've done a lot of films. You've done a lot of films. What's your favorite film?
That I've worked on? There was a movie called College that I thought that was going to be the one. You know, you get a feeling like this is going to be the one.
Yeah, I've had a lot of those.
And it came out like 2 weeks after Superbad, and we had the same characters. So we had all the backlash. Like, they stole everything. I was like, it was basically 3 high school kids doing a college visit for a weekend. It was like a Porky's.
Yeah.
And I was the frat guy that never left.
Never.
So I'm like 30 in this frat, and I'm just running shit. And Vern, Mini-Me, was my sidekick. I was Bear Kid. He was Bear Kitten. And I just thought, as we were shooting, I go, fuck, man, I'm kind of in the pocket.
Yeah, man, I know that feeling.
I got to play the wild frat guy.
Yeah.
And I was like this, And then it just kept, I should have known it kept getting postponed.
Yeah, see that, but that feeling that you have, like I've had that feeling where you, like, because acting's such a grind, and I think you and I have a similar experience of you just never know when your next job is going to come, right? You just never do.
No.
I've never had certainty in this business.
Yeah.
Never. And so what happens is maybe you do a movie and you think to yourself, maybe this will be the movie where I get offered roles and I can have some stability and I can plan one thing in my life.
Yeah.
And people don't realize, like, what that is when you're a journeyman. Like, you know, I am. I mean, I've always been a journeyman actor, and that's. I mean, past 3 years were, 4 years with the Goldbergs and Schooled were good, but then COVID and all this stuff. But overall, there's never any certainty. Overall, you're back to square one. Mm-hmm. You're back to, like, where's my next job coming from? Mm-hmm. And and when you do the road, how are you going to get butts in the seat? You better figure out a way to do it.
Yeah.
How are you going to sell tickets? Because you're competing with TikTok and 1,000 other things.
Yeah.
So if you aren't in people's face, jumping up and down.
Now, you got to what I've found is I've utilized TikTok in a different manner. I start putting my stand-up clips on it.
There you go.
Like, continuously.
Yeah, man.
And I'm just like, I realize that those YouTube, not YouTube, but the Instagram says YouTube has younger millennials that are doing the sketches.
Yeah.
It's just not in me like that. I can join you and you come up with it, but that's an art form in itself.
Yeah, it is.
Where, like me, I'm like, dude, I'm a stand-up. So I took a page out of, like, I remember I was at the Burbank airport and ran into Bill Burr, and we were talking. It's kind of like me and you.
Yeah.
Fucked his name up. I said, Bill Burry.
Bill Burr.
It's Burr, fucker.
No, you said Burr because he's got 5 R's at the end of his name. Hey, Bill Burr.
We're just bullshitting. And he goes, yo, I'm just going to be so fucking funny, they can't deny me.
That's it.
And I just went.
When did he say that?
Wow, 10 years ago?
I love that shit.
He goes, I'm just going to be so
And
fucking
he is.
funny.
And he is.
They can't deny me. And I was like this. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
In my own lane.
That's it.
So when people always be like, man, you do so many racial jokes, I go, motherfucker, come to my show. And it's 80, 90% black.
Yeah.
I go, so I'm doing something right because I'm selling tickets.
Yeah,
So
man.
I'm not going to change it. Because it's almost like when you get those
That's fucking.
internet
That's
trolls.
impressive that you. That's impressive that you're a black comic. It is. It's fucking impressive.
Well, it's like those internet trolls that'll be like, keep pandering your audience or do. I'll be looking at them like this. You were never going to come see me anyways. So I don't care about your opinion.
But you're not pandering to your audience.
At all. I'm playing to them, but I'm not pandering. There's a huge difference. I always say playing to your audience is if I'm at Showtime at the Apollo
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk about Garth Brooks.
No.
Right? I'm going to talk about Lil Wayne.
But also, you just like my features of for whatever reason have been black, right? I was taking Malik B on the road, my Herman Race, now Leo Flowers. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that because it's politically correct or because they're black. I don't give a fuck about that. I just happen to have thought that they were funny, and especially like Malik or like Herman, who were young comics and hungry and working their ass off. And I fucking love hustle. And so for me, that's why I was bringing them on the road. So that just kind of happened by accident. I'm not doing that because I'm not even doing it to be nice. I'm just doing it because I happen to think they're fucking funny and I like hanging out with them.
That's the big thing.
I mean, you know
like hanging out with them.
Yeah, man.
And the hustle. Do you find this? Because I found this going through in my 20 years on the road, probably the last 10, 11, kind of use the same 3 features. They kind of
you like hanging. There's certain people you like hanging with, and there's also certain people you want good things to happen for. Mm-hmm. Right?
You find but you can spoil them, and they almost get a little spoiled. And you're like, comics are out there like I always tell my guys. I go when they get, I feel like sometimes entitled. I'm like, hey, I'm kind of your booking agent.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to hustle for work.
Right.
I go, you just wait for me to call and be like, hey, we're in Milwaukee, we're in Phoenix, we're in here. You just got to get there.
Yeah.
Like, you know how many comics are out there? Like, I just want to work.
But see, I have a thing about that. Like, so I always say to young comics or whoever it is, I always say, I'm the stepping stone. You shouldn't be with me for 10 years.
Facts.
You should be leaving me in 2 years. You should, and I said that to Malik. I said that to Herman. I said that I always say, I go, look, you should be using me. You should become more famous or you should become a headliner. The whole point of you featuring is for these clubs to see how good you are and for you to build your own audience. It's not to be my feature. I don't like people working for me. That's not what this is about. This is about me seeing talent that's young, hungry, and has something to say. And then I happen to be one of the facilitators to that expression. And oh, by the way, I like hanging out with you. I gotta like to hang out with you. Like Leo Flowers is one of the smartest motherfuckers I know. So he wouldn't even have to. He's funny as shit, but he wouldn't even have to be funny. I just love the motherfucker because he reads more than I do, and we sit around and talk about deep shit.
How'd you?
I learn stuff. I saw him.
Lee Flowers.
Leo Flowers.
Where'd you see him at?
I saw him at. I think it was at in the Venice Underground or something, and he was just funny. One of those shows, he's funny, man, funny and just good. And I was like, I walked up and I go, hey, bro, I need a feature. I was like, I want this guy to come on. Just because I thought he was really good. I thought people needed to see him. And also he makes my show better. Because you know what the other thing is? My features, like someone like Leo, there is always probably 20, 30, 40% of the audience that's like, he's just as good as that headliner. He might be better.
Yeah, that's never happened to me.
No, it's never happened to me either. I was being falsely modest. I'm too good for that. Thank you. Give me a fist.
I'm like this.
Give me a COVID fist on that.
It's never happened.
No. Well, the one thing I always say is, you can say whatever you want, but come to my show and I promise you'll laugh. I don't give a fuck, and you'll laugh for an hour straight. That's all I can offer you.
I won't know some of the words you're talking about if you use them. If you've already
sommelier, if I use sommelier, the French word.
15 big words in a podcast. I can't imagine an hour.
Efficacy. You guys have learned a couple of things: efficacy and sommelier. I can hear people going, okay.
I'm glad we did this now. I hate to be on a big show with you and be like, have you seen him in The Warrior with Frank Grillo? One of my favorite shows, The Kingdom.
It's the best.
With Nick Johannes.
Nick Johannes. Nick Johannes. Fuck. What a world, though. At least, I don't know. At least we have movies, right? Although now, I don't know. What do you think? What, are you optimistic?
About entertainment?
Next 4 years and everything?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't try to overthink it. I'm very apolitical. I'm not Republican, Democrat, not either one. I just kind of roll with it. So talking politics to people is almost like talking sports. Like if you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, there's nothing you can say to that person's going to change their mind. There's no other team they're ever going to go to. If you got your candidate and that's who you like, there's nothing you could say. And that's when people argue on social media. I'm like, you're not going to change anybody's mind. So just, why comment?
Yeah.
Why comment?
Right.
Especially when it
I've
comes to
never
politics.
commented. I've never been like, and another thing.
Oh, I got family members. They go at it. I've lost family members, and family members are at each other's throats over politics. I'm like, I can't believe you guys.
Yeah.
I try to tell people in my family that I go, look, when it's your last days, you're in the hospital, who's going to be there?
Yeah.
Those people on Facebook that were agreeing with you,
no,
they're going to be long gone. I go, your family's going to be there. I said, so take a step back, man. It ain't worth it.
Well, that's what happens when you go through some shit. I don't know if you know, but I've been through some shit the past 6 months. And when you lose everything, you the people that are closest to you, like you deepen your relationships. And your family becomes really important.
Yeah.
You know, that's one of the things about anything you go through in life is like you spend all, it goes back to what we were saying, until you need somebody, until you need help, like you get humbled. But overall, you can just go through life. Frank Grillo helped me. Frank Grillo's there. He's a killer. He's Italian. What are you going to do? Italian. It's like Mickey Rourke. It's like Mickey Rourke in that famous movie from the 80s called The Pope of Greenwich Village. And Daryl Hannah looks at Mickey Rourke and goes, when are you going to outgrow him? And he goes, Italians don't outgrow people. They outgrow clothes. And he walks away. I'm like, there it is. I was like, I'll never forget that.
I remember watching going, that was the fucking mermaid from Splash.
Yes, she was. And yes, she was. Yes, she was.
Guy's going to see this. Fuck. Never get a second chance to make a first impression.
Get him on the podcast.
Frank Grillo.
Get him on the podcast.
Jesus Christ.
You guys can laugh about it. He's a great interview.
Oh, yeah. I follow him on social media.
Yeah.
He's got me I want to try this Italian restaurant he eats at. And then
it's my Italian restaurant.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah. Excuse me. That's our Italian restaurant. It's called Via Veneto.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. It's in Santa Monica.
My fault.
The best Italian food.
Wow. I might have to get that for lunch
We're
today.
dear friends with the owners, so we always promote it. But that place is hands down best Italian food. When Italian people come, when Italians come, they go, this is like, it's like Rome. It's the same but better than Rome. I'm like, that's right, motherfucker, and you're in Los Angeles.
So wouldn't in Roma it would be Frank Grillo?
Yes, no.
Still be Grillo?
Grillo.
Grillo. Frank Grillo.
The Italians say Grillo.
Frank Grillo.
No. That's if you're in Spain. Grillo.
Where was I at?
We're in Italy. We're in Rome. I said Roma. What the fuck is going on with this?
Where was I at?
Yeah. I'll take you to Rome. I'll take you to Rome and in Madrid.
Frank Grillo.
Madrid. And
Grillo.
Grillo.
Frank.
Where's
that name up? So, here's the bad part. I apologize. Oh, I didn't mean to say that. And then I went, just own it. This whole time, I thought it was Frank.
Don't worry.
Grillo.
Look, it's not your fault. Here's a trivia question. What city lisps when they speak?
Lisp. St. Paul?
Lisp. No, they lisp.
Lisp.
Yeah.
Lithuania?
That's a good guess.
In America?
Barcelona in Spain.
Barcelona,
they say Barcelona. And they use
Barcelona.
Yeah, and this is a part of the language.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you're welcome. That's crazy. Now that's crazy. Now that's crazy.
You should use that in Warrior. The brothers.
These guys are brothers. These guys are brothers, and these guys are really hitting each other.
There's no way this guy's winning this fight.
This is a character choice. You know what happened? I'd get canceled like 10 years after the fact for being offensive to people with lisps.
Did you have to audition for that part, or was it offered to you?
It
seemed like it was right up your alley.
It was offered to me because I put the writer and the director together. Because the writer was a friend of mine who was a great writer, but nobody knew about. So I made the director read his writing, and then the rest is. Then they got together. They talk about this on the DVD. Sorry,
wow.
but then they because they were both friends, and then I put them together, and then they ended up writing together. So that's why, as a gift, they gave me that part. They wanted Rogan, and I remember I text Rogan. I go, "Hey, they want you this movie, Warrior," and he goes, "Dude, unless it's a crazy amount of cash, I'm too busy." And then I said, well, do you have any advice for playing you? And he said, yeah, just take yourself completely out of the equation. Take yourself out of never mention what you think or how you feel. Just be a commentator. That was the best advice. That was how I prepared for the role, everyone. I think I might have played Bryan Callen. I don't know. What was my name in that? Somebody
Announcer?
looked that shit up.
What was Bryan Callen's name?
I think I was literally Bryan Callen.
Yep, you were just Bryan Callen.
I was Bryan Callen.
Bryan Callen, the Warrior.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Talk about going out on a limb.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
What was Frank Grillo's name?
What was it? Frank Campagna.
Wow, this guy was really.
We don't step
He
outside.
didn't want to forget shit.
Nah.
Nick Nolte's first name was it Nick?
Paddy Cullen?
That's it.
Why did Nick get a different first name?
Because he was Irish. You got to have an Irish name. Because Gavin was Irish Italian. His
What
dad-
about Colina's?
Alvi Colina?
Alvi Colina.
Which is a
that
really
was
weird,
from.
it's a weird name,
That was
right?
from Kingdom, guys.
Yeah. Now,
Frank Grillo
that
likes
I did
doing-
audition for. But it helped that Frank called, and I knew the director too. I'd worked with the director. And I remember he was Armenian. So I did an Armenian. Do I know what an Armenian accent was?
Mm-hmm.
No, but I was doing it something like this. Is that sort of, I don't know. It's you can't really tell if I'm talking with an accent right now, but I'm sort of American, but I'm
Every time I
not.
watch The King, I just want to put down whatever I'm eating.
Yeah.
Like everybody's in shape.
Everybody's in shape, bro. Including Bryan Callen.
What, was it like 300? Were all those guys went through boot camp together? Or were
No, not at all.
Then they
just
were
had-
counting on them to be in shape
They
when they
just
showed
used
up.
a lot of like ex-fighters or would-be fighters or wannabe fighters as background.
But even the leads. all
Yeah,
in
those
great
guys
shape.
were all training all the time.
Jesus
They were
Christ.
working out.
But you know who was the heavyset guy in that was in the Richard Jewell movie?
He's amazing. Yeah.
He was so good in Richard Jewell.
And he's a wonderful guy.
What's
And
that
a
guy's name?
Wonderful actor.
The guy that was in Kingdom and he also starred in Richard Jewell.
Such a good actor. The fuck is his name? He just texted me actually about
He's a
3
good.
weeks ago.
He's a really good actor.
Paul Hauser?
Yeah.
Paul Hauser.
Paul Walter Hauser.
Yeah. Paul. Great guy.
Paul Hozier.
A wonderful actor. He's so good in that. You know, I've
Richard
never
Jewell or
seen.
Kingdom?
I haven't watched a lot of Kingdom. I don't watch the stuff I do because I hate my acting and I hate the way I look.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
How'd you get Right Along? The movie we was in that you didn't remember.
I did. I was asked to come and do I think by James Lopez, who was an executive at Sony.
He was a big fan of yours because he was
Love
bragging
him.
about you.
I love that dude, and he I think he saw me do stand up or something. So he asked me to come and do the reading, and Tim Story was there, and and Ice Cube, and they were so cool to me. And the next thing I knew, I had the part because I did the reading. And,
table
and I
reading?
had known I love Kevin Hart, and I'd known him a little bit. I love that guy, and I think with the combination of just knowing those people.
Yeah. I came off. It was funny. I came off Think Like a Man. Let's just make this about me.
Yeah.
This is my podcast.
Yeah, I got you.
I came off Think Like a Man, and it was the same. Will was the producer. Tim was the director.
Yeah, man.
And James.
And Will Packer's a great dude.
He's the best.
Ah.
He's the best.
Smart. That's
Yeah.
another smart dude.
And our kids are in college together right now.
Really?
Same dorm.
Yeah, Will was an engineering degree. Huge Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan.
Huge.
Like
Florida
he takes that shit personally.
Well, he got a suite. He partnered with Gary Sheffield, and they got a suite because in Tampa, when the season started, there was no fans, but the suite owners could come to the game.
Damn.
And he was like, "Yo, if you don't want to go to a game," I was like, "Well, it's kind of COVID, but hopefully
Yeah.
Brady will be there next year. I'll take you up on it." But yeah, he just called and was like, I had to cancel my weekend. It was like 2 days notice. Yo, what are you doing Thursday? I was like, well, I got a gig. He goes, well, I want you for this part, man. He goes, it's not big, but it'll stick out. Talking about me taking off my clothes.
Yep.
He literally said, what are you looking like these days? I go, I don't know. He goes, send me a picture of your clothes off. I was like, what? So I said, butt naked or can I get my shorts on? He was like, up to you.
Bro, I got a surreal story about that. That when I think that was when we were shooting that was when the terrible incident. I think this was when that guy came in and killed all those at Sandy Hook, killed all those kindergartners.
Well, that was 2012.
Yeah, I
we shot
looked
it.
that up, but I think that's pretty much when it happened. And so Will said, and this is no joke. That was the day we had this huge shootout in a warehouse. I don't know if you were there. I don't think you were.
I was only there a couple days.
Yeah, well, we were shooting in Atlanta, and we had this giant shootout. And I'm telling you, bro, everybody had automatic weapons and guns and everything. And Will, who's a very classy man, said, "Hey, I think we ought to have a moment of silence for the people that passed, and we should take a minute to think about this." Gary, I swear to God, it was so fucking weird because everybody some of the stuntmen, people had guns in their hands, or the guns were all laid out, and we all bowed our heads and took a minute to remember the victims of this shooting.
Wow.
And when it was over, everybody went back and picked up their goddamn guns, and we went and
started
shot,
to
and the pyrotechnics were there, and it was just like that whole day was just grenades and guns and
Wow.
And I just thought the irony of this shit, the fucking irony, the American love affair with weaponry.
Wow.
It was just a weird thing. But Will, as usual with his class and grace, kind of just brought us together for a second. Mm-hmm. I love that. I had such an experience in that movie, like when Lawrence Fishburne, another Hall of Famer. I spent all my time with that dude.
Yeah.
And he was Tim Story's there, and he's looking at the scene, and he goes, "We're walking through it," and he goes, "The scene doesn't work, right?" And it's $1 million day, and Tim goes, "Doesn't work," and he goes, "No, but we're gonna fix it." Yes, and they fixed that shit. In other words, Fishburne walked in, Fish walked in, and he goes, "Look, man, it's all right. Well, you guys had a plan, but I've been doing this since I was 14 on Apocalypse Now.
Yeah.
14 years old. 14.
Yeah.
And he was probably 60 at the time.
That's hysterical.
We'll fix it. I got you.
Yeah.
We'll fix it because I know how to fix it because I've been doing this for a couple minutes.
Yeah.
It was beautiful, man. That was a good experience.
Is there anybody, I ask this to all my guests, is there anybody you haven't worked with that you want to work with if they gave you a choice? Like Bryan Callen, here's
Daniel
your movie.
Day-Lewis, Christian Bale, Meryl Streep. People that I just don't know how they do what they do.
So it's funny you say Daniel Day-Lewis. When we shot Ride Along, remember Bruce McGill?
Yeah.
Was the chief of police?
Yeah, I remember. He told me the story.
About Lincoln?
He was on Lincoln.
And he died? Did he tell you that one? They had to switch the shooting schedule?
No.
Daniel Day-Lewis really died as Lincoln?
Oh, Jesus. This kind of shit drives me up a wall.
He said he was living in the 1860s.
He wouldn't answer questions. You can only talk to him about shit up to 1865.
Yeah. I said, so if you're in a scene and they're resetting the angles and it's just you and Daniel Day-Lewis, which there was, I said, Bruce, what do you talk about? He goes, shit in the 1860s. I go, shut the fuck up.
Do you know what he said to him? He said, "I'm sorry about that mess in Cincinnati." And Daniel went, yes. Well, it's we're in a cafruncle there. Like, hey, bro, I ain't that guy. I can't hold a character that long. I get
no
bored.
way.
You and I'd be like, fuck this, man.
Dan! But, I had Joseph Sikora on, Tommy from Power.
Yeah.
And he worked with Daniel Day-Lewis on, he worked with Leonardo DiCaprio on Shutter Island. And Leo was talking about Gangs of New York.
Yeah.
And he said Daniel he pulled his hamstring or his back out or something, right? But he was always the butcher. And he's laying there and he's in pain. And he just broke character for a brief second. He goes, "This is fucking hot, isn't it?" To Leo.
That's rare.
Leo went, "Oh, fuck, he's still in there. He's still in there."
Oh, shit.
But he was just laying there like in pain. He goes, "This is fucking hot, isn't it?"
He had that contact. He was wearing that top hat.
Oh, my God, he was
shit.
ruthless in that movie.
Dude, get yourself a good piece of meat on the way out. He had that accent, that sort of New York accent.
Yeah. It was so good, that movie. And they had to hold that movie because that's when the towers went down.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Gangs of New York was supposed to come out, and they go, "We got to hold it."
That movie was fundamentally flawed because you cared more about the villain by far than our boy
Leonardo?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
You just cared. I always wanted to see that dude. I wanted him to live. I wanted him to win, the villain. He was just too good.
Oh.
Get yourself and find out who killed this poor defenseless
And he
buddy.
looked like he really knew how to cut meat.
He did. He went to butcher school.
I was like, that guy knows how to cut a steak.
He can cut a steak, he can box, and he can make shoes. You understand? He studied cobbling. He became a cobbler.
And he discovered oil.
He discovered fucking, "I'll drink your milkshake."
Yeah. Killed that guy with the dang bowling pin.
You know what he said? He said the reason I prepare like that as an actor is because I'm basically ashamed of being a middle-class Englishman. And that's what Christian Bale said. I lose all this weight, I do all this shit because I wear makeup and make believe, and it doesn't make me feel like a man. So I need a challenge. So, okay.
He was the first one I heard go on a rant. Talking about Tom Cruise going on a rant.
Oh, yeah.
Last month.
Yeah, man.
Oh.
Those guys are intense.
Can you imagine being in a scene with him? The next scene, you good? Or?
I'd
have to break the tension.
I did a
"Hey,
reading
Tom,
with him.
you
I did a
good?"
reading with Tom Cruise. I spent
really?
6 hours with him. And then I spent an hour and a half talking to him at a party. Like, I wanted to be friends with him. To the point where I'm a straight man, but I was so starstruck, I was like, if that guy tried to kiss me, I might let him. You know what I mean?
I know it with Joe Burrow, the
You know-
quarterback for the Bengals.
Same thing, right? You know what I mean? Sometimes you can be like so starstruck by a dude, you want to be friends with him so badly, you're like,
Yeah.
I mean, I might get a little gay. Hey,
I cuddle.
I mean, I cuddle.
You want a spoon?
I mean, if nobody was looking, I might kiss you for about 10 minutes. That's all. I'm not going to use my tongue.
Let's
but
hold each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, this just got weird. I didn't know it was going to end this way.
Got to end on a gay note, bro.
Yeah.
Got to end on a gay
Well,
note.
thanks. What's the name of that restaurant in Santa
Via
Monica?
Veneto. I'm about to drop a new podcast. You're going to be on it too. It's called Callen and Company.
Maybe. I'm hard to work with.
Oh shit, you are hard to work with. We'll get you in though. I'll have a green room. Me and
wanna be
Steve
on-
Byrne. Me and Steve Byrne. You like Steve Byrne?
I want to be on with Frank Grillo.
Frank Grillo will be there. Have him on. I'll make a call for you. I'll get him on. For real.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'd like you. He's great.
My guest this week is Frank Grillo.
My guest is Frank Grillo, everyone. I come and see him.
I'm gonna have Italian food delivered in the middle of the podcast.
We should go to Via Veneto. When are you coming back to LA?
I do this every couple weeks, every 3 weeks.
Hit me up and I'll bring you.
Okay. Well,
Meantime.
shit opens up. Is it open? You gotta get the go right now, right?
Bro, everybody needs a vaccine. I don't know how long we're shut down. I'm done. I'm done with this shit. I'd plug a date, but I can't remember where I'm going to be. Oh, Miami, February 4th, 5th, and 6th at the Improv. Have you done that? Mm-hmm. I hear that's kicking.
It's dope.
Come see me in Miami, February 4th, 5th, and 6th.
If I tell people to go, you're gonna have a huge black audience. Do you want that?
I do want
Go see Bryan Callen, February 4th, 5th, and 6th at the Miami Improv.
Yes! And I'll bring all my black material, all my racial material. My audience is pretty mixed.
Is it?
Yeah.
What do you mean, brown hair and blonde hair?
Yeah, just blonde hair, blue eyes, but from different parts of Sweden.
I got a lot of black hair fans.
People of color and indigenous. I need more indigenous. How's your indigenous? How's your First Nation audience?
I'm working on it. All right. All right, Brian. Well, thanks for coming on, man.
God bless, brother.
All right. Take
Thanks.
care.